Hi, I'm Lisa. Welcome to my glass studio. In this video, I'd like to show you how to make this awesome fish tray. It's really fun to make, has great texture, great vibrancy, a variety of different techniques I'm using here to create something that's really spectacular. So this piece, the fish is full fused, the little dots are full fused individually, and then the border is full fused individually as well. Then all those components, the fish, the dots, and the border are put together, tack fused to make this nice rectangular tray. So I took this organic fish shape, put all these bubbles around it, these different colors, and then this border so I could make something that was a nice rectangular shape, a nice solid, really nice durable piece of glass. Fun to look at, fun to hold, love the textural quality, love the shape. So I'd like to share with you how to make this really fun piece. One of the things I really like about this piece is the amount of detail and how those different shapes really help represent the subject matter, which is the fish. The fish is made with 2 full layers of glass, so I'm going to start by cutting out a clear base. I'm using a pattern as a guide to increase the accuracy of this base piece. I run my cutter right along the paper, and then I take my grazing pliers or running pliers and remove the excess material. Removing the glass from the back of the tail is easy because that's a relatively straight cut. Removing the glass to create this deep inside curve is a little tricky. I ran several score lines and then I'm peeling those pieces of glass out a small bit at a time in order to get the correct shape. Then I take the glass to the grinder to fine-tune the shape, take off any sharp edges, and make sure that my contours are really nice and they feel like they will fit well on the pattern. The second glass layer is made with opalescent glass, and I can't see through it to cut on top of the paper. So I'm using scissors to cut the pattern up, then I'll glue these pieces on the glass and cut around them. Using the paper pattern twice, once as a whole pattern and then individually as these small pieces, is a great way to expedite your construction because you only have to cut up one paper pattern. I use a glue stick to affix the paper to the glass so it doesn't move when I cut it. I get as close to the paper as possible and then take my pliers and take off the excess glass. I'm trying to make this as neat as possible because I want to minimize the amount of time I have to spend at the grinder. So I really do spend a lot of time with my cutting and try to get it very accurate. One of the nice things about the paper pattern when you're doing small individual pieces like this is you really have a sense of the style and the shape, and you'll be ensured that they fit together nicely when you go to assemble the piece because they've been cut very accurately according to that paper pattern. I know what you're thinking, that's a lot of fish scales, and it is. But guess what? It comes out so beautiful, you're really gonna love it. They're really actually fun to cut once you get started. Now I'm going to take the opal pieces for the second layer, and I'm going to grind those to improve the shape, take off any sharp edges, and make sure that the pieces fit well together. If there's a bump on the glass, I hold that piece up against the grinding bit a little bit longer to make sure I get really nice shapes. The water from the grinder loosens the glue and makes the paper slide off. So I'm just going to take these little pieces of paper, wipe them off, and then take a towel, dry the glass, and remove any of that glue that might be left behind from the glue stick. Then I'll place them on the pattern. They're all numbered, so I know where they go. Place them on the pattern and check out how beautifully they're fitting together. Now I'm going to lay the second layer on top of the clear base, and I'm going to glue it down with a little bit of Elmer's white glue. I use a toothpick to apply the smallest amount of glue possible because then it burns off without leaving any trace. I give the glue a chance to dry before I move to the next step. I'm going to add a little mouth and a little eye here so the fish has some personality. Now I'm going to add a contrasting color frit to the top and work it into any of the crevices that might be there. Not only does this hide the clear glass below, but it also adds a nice detail to the design. I'm applying powder frit with a sifter for added design. Now I take a dry paintbrush and draw it through the powder frit to give the fishtail some veining and a little more detail that's kind of exciting. And then on the face, I'll outline that a little bit in order to give the outside of the face a little bit of shadow or shading and kind of give it some contours because this blue is very flat otherwise. And this gives it a really nice extra detail that adds a lot to the piece, makes it kind of three-dimensional, makes it much fuller. I just love the way it works with the design. And I'm using kind of a medium to deep blue powder frit here. Once I'm satisfied with the shape, I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of white fine frit for more detail. My goal is to make that plain blue more interesting. Here we're assembling the border. It has clear glass on the bottom and the white glass on top. These are 1/2 inch wide strips. It's really fun to watch this project come together because it's made with different components. Each built separately and then put together to make one cohesive finished piece of art. It's really exciting. It's a good idea to use the pattern as a guide to make sure your border is nice and square. Now I'm going to cut a bunch of small squares. These are approximately 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch. And I'm using a variety of different blue colors, some opal, and some transparents. I'm going to break these into little squares with my runners. Make more than you think you're going to need because you don't want to have to go back and add more later. Now we're going to fire all of this to a full fuse temperature, and here are the pieces coming out of the kiln. Isn't this awesome? The fish looks terrific. Great color, the border looks wonderful, and look at all those little dots we have to work with. Isn't that so much fun? I'm going to put all these in a little tray, just scoop them up off of that kiln shelf, and now we're going to go ahead and lay the project out on fiber paper on top of a ceramic shelf. Now I'm trying to create a sense of continuity here with the background. I want the blue that's over there in the upper right hand side of your screen to kind of flow behind the fish and come over here by the tail. So I'm being very purposeful with my color combinations and the direction of these little dots. Even though it looks random, it's not. Being very purposeful with how they're laid out so that visually they connect behind the fish. When you lay out with purpose like this, it makes the construction more fun because you see a plan happening there. It's not just all random and dumping those little pebbles or nuggets onto the shelf. You're actually trying to pick colors and have a coordinating system here, or color palette or movement and flow to those pieces. It really does show in the finished project. So don't hesitate to spend a little extra time planning that background and laying these pieces out in such a way that they have a nice flow behind that fish. It doesn't show here in the picture yet, but in the finished piece, it's just a game buster. All right, we're going to fire this to attack temperature and connect all those pieces. Look how fun that is. And I had these extra pieces. I made a little tiny circular piece, a little extra bonus project. We're going to place these in a ceramic mold and fire these to the slumping temperature. And here they are coming out of the kiln with a beautiful contour, nice solid projects because we fired this to a nice temperature. Just a lot of fun. So you can really have a lot of potential with these little nuggets. Thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoyed learning how to make this fish and you take some of these ideas and use them to make your own project. Or this fish, go ahead, make it. This one is a 14 by 7, so it's pretty good size, but you could also make this smaller if you wanted to, if your kiln isn't quite that big or you don't have a mold that size, or you can make it into a rectangle, a circle, anything you wanted to. So a lot of fun, a lot of opportunity here to get creative. So thanks for joining me today. Please follow, like, subscribe to my YouTube channel. That way you'll get notified when all my new videos come out so you can enjoy them right away. Please consider becoming a premium video member. I'd love to have you. You'll get exclusive content, new videos coming out all the time. Videos have step-by-step video instruction. They come with a full-size printable pattern ebook that's full-size patterns, material is full-color images, firing guides, and of course the full-size patterns. So please consider becoming a premium video member. We would love to have you. And until next time, enjoy your summer, enjoy making this fish, and happy fusing.